So a bit of change in approach for today. There's been a lot of talk about pandemics going on and lots of fear associated with that, like always. What is the classical Chinese medicine approach for dealing with pandemics and also for ourselves what we can do?
Pandemic, the wording is really means global disease. In Chinese history, it's called epidemic. Epidemic means disease spreading crazily in a certain area, and lots of people get it. So that phenomenon historical happened is a lot. It's not first time happened in the history. So that's why Chinese medicine has been dealing that in many circumstances. So that's why there's 2,000 years ago in the Han Dynasty, there's a doctor who had a village, and there are hundreds, thousands died. Even his family, about 20 people, his relatives died. So he himself is as doctor. His name is Zhang Zhongjing. Is very famous in Chinese medicine. It's still his prescription used in the clinic for fever. Like people feel cold first and then feel hot and then have a temperature and then die. So he used them kind of the prescription he used to know, but it seems it doesn't work. So that's bothering him so much. That's why he was really kind of very concerned, very worried, because you can see people just keep dying, especially for doctor. You meant to be helping people back to track. But so interestingly, he said he was so much concerned, and one night he had a dream. The dream is like there are men wearing the white robes and with long beard, and then come to him and then put the book into his chest. So, and then he suddenly wake up. When he wake up, he still feel like the pain on the chest. But he got the idea. He got the idea how the prescription should be. So he took the notes what the prescription should be, and then since he used as a new prescription, and it works. So he helped lots of people. So even up to now, and that prescription is amazingly work for people have this kind of cold, hot fever disease, which because he create new theory, because the disease is from external and then coming to the body, go through 3 layers. So that's why he vividly described what that 3 layer is about, which is very much connecting with the meridian system. So he's talking little young, is very strong young, and then yin. So they followed what we call the meridian system about describing yin and yang. So come to that point, I want to explain about a little bit what Chinese medicine really function. Because Chinese medicine not like Western medicine. Western medicine is like you put a microscope, you start looking all of the virus. Said, oh God, that's virus. Virus have 3 and 4 different target, and some kind
isolate the protein. Everything's reductionistic.
Exactly, about protein and what's the protein different. So that's why the target, what kind of protein, the modeling above that, and then showed what's that look like. Chinese medicine the amazing part, why I'm really so attractive to Chinese medicine, because I used to practice Western medicine. Because Chinese medicine doesn't look into this part about what's the protein, what's the fight, and how it's changed. Because every disease, they have yin and yang. So how much percentage of the yin, how much percentage of yang, in which meridians, in which organs. So that's why they use this kind of very clear structure. So that's why when the people say Chinese medicine is not scientific described, because this person talking this way, the other doctor and then talking another diagnosis, because the same disease, different diagnosis. So that's why people always said, that's not really very clearly about the quantum fight, and then so what exactly what it is. To me, actually, it's much more clear as a logic. You know why? Because Western medicine, I just find that Western medicine doesn't fit in the logic to me. Because, for example, if a patient come, so there's a Parkinson disease. What is Parkinson disease? So you have to check the book. So, someone called Parkinson. So you start realize, like Glacier disease, whatever. It depends on either is the doctor find the disease, or the patient have that disease. The first identified is an old name about either doctor or the patients, or some of them just said, infectionness, or even the virus name. So that's why each time there are some disease come, they always say, what is that happening? How can we fix that? So you have to, use the way to try to identify the detail, protein, and everything, and then later on you name of that. But that means each time for medical people is the challenge, because you have no idea. You have no system to follow up to what it is, because the system is about either attack the nerve system or attack about the digestive system, or which level is a bacterial and a virus, and it's like a count muscles, or all of that is the structure, thinking about the material part and has their function. But that's what I just find that's super challenge. But for Chinese medicine, since I learned Chinese medicine, I'm much more relaxed to any kind of a new serious problem, because I have a deep confidence. So, for example, if we're talking about the new virus happening in China, or some people say, dangerous, difficult to identify, and then as a Chinese medicine practitioner, I said, wow, okay, I don't care. Because I don't care whatever
whatever the classification of the virus is.
Exactly. So because whatever your classification about what it is, and then they never can escape and then structure of yin-yang. Because if they get to the yin-yang, you always know, okay, which part of this patient is the yin deficiency and the yang deficiency. If it's a lung, it's a kidney, and whatever. So you always can find which meridians you can adjust it, and how to do it. And then, which the herbs can bring up that in that part of yang. So it's like everything Chinese medicine have they are structure to can be balanced up. that patient. So that's why Chinese medicine not directly attacking or fight that virus. And then because it's to understanding why they're attacking that particular person. For example, this particular virus in Wuhan, in the middle of China, and they're attacking the people at older age. So it's quite interesting because, and also I talked to some of the friends. They said, "Well, bacteria actually, virus actually is not that kind of frightening." To me, I never really frightened about virus, because virus bacteria is the very very old life form on the earth. Could be even before our human. We think we are how clever. Actually, if you look at each person's body, and then our body is the community of the virus and the bacteria. It's the community of them. For example, amoeba bacteria. It's in our body. And then in our large intestine, they have so many viruses and so many bacteria. And then there could be some virus there. But in fact, we there's a research team went to China in all different places and then try to find that virus, the structure. They eventually find the SARS is actually linked with the bat. So, and then they're going to any kind of mountains who have the bat. But the truth come out. Bat carried so much virus. But bat was still flying, still alive. And then they're very super kind of a birds, and they don't have eyes. They use a radar to go to anywhere and then have a super sensitive perceptions. Because so the whole world is about the virus and bacterial and then living community. So that's why when they come to someone, it's because their intention not to try to kill anyone. It's because they want to live with you. But depends on whether you're strong enough to accept them. No, if, for example, if we are checking the normal people, and then the people quite strong, that not means they're super clean, they have no virus, they have no bacteria. You may find they carry so much everywhere, but they don't have symptoms, and then they're doing quite well. But why someone died by those is, that is a very interesting aspect, because Chinese medicine in the Yellow Emperor Canon book we were talking about, there's one sentence I suggest that everybody remember, never forget. That's when your immune system strong, when you're truly virtue, when you're truly centered, have very strong qi, there's no disease, no external pathogenic qi, no devil can be attacked you. But of course, I used lots of language. In Chinese, there's only about a few words, very short. They're called 正气存内, 邪气不可干也. Means 正 means you're very centered. Your true immune system very strong. So, and then external effect, I won't blow you off. So that's one of the reasons, and I noticed that if any people get sick, you always can identify that maybe they're too selfish, and then the energy very low, they're only thinking about themselves, and then they are the vibration not radiating, and then their immune system quite weak. For example, like we see there are some of the good doctors, they serve people a lot, but they got infected, and then they died. It's partly our body also, and the immune system need your preserve, and then to keep this strong. So that's one of the reasons. If you overuse your energy, and also you're too worried about, and then too busy not to eat, not take care of yourself, and then that you're exposed to that infection. But why is it? Because we were said, especially stomach meridians. So that's why when the people talking about stomach meridians and spleen functions, because and then those meridians right in front of you. So we know the smart stomach meridians come from the nose and the eyes, and it goes through your top of head and along your hair edge, and then going right in the front of your body, and then go down right in front of your leg and to your toes. So as we know, meridians is actually work as vibration. So when your stomach meridians are strong, and then you are much better to push and any virus or invasion come into your body. And so that's why when we're doing the Qigong practice, we bring the hands up, and then so we slow down to, like lots of people doing Tai Chi, bring the Qi goes down along the body. Actually, that action is strengthening your stomach meridians. And also, I want to let people know, stomach meridians in Chinese medicine, the characters called plenty of qi and plenty of blood. So how to how to charge your blood, your stomach meridians. So get up in the morning, because they're running from 7 to 9. So that's exactly sunrise. Exactly what we said. When sun rising up, you need rising up. So and then so that is the time your exercise, you vibrating it, because we are also teaching people to do the slapping, is also to get their meridians vibrating. So when they're vibrating, that's like a pulsing. They're pulsing that. That can push the bacteria and any invasion coming in. So when the pandemic start, I find that's very interesting phenomenon, because this time the pandemic start, I'm not surprised, because we already knew that. At least being a Chinese medicine doctor, I already knew. Mm-hmm. If you find so many Chinese people try to learn the rich country habit, eat big meal at the evening, and then go to bed very late, and lecturing and watching, filming and then dancing, and then kind of not sleep during night, and then get up in the morning late. Oh, if they go to work, they have to get up, but because in the middle of night, we are going to resting, replenish our baby young. So, of course, stomach meridians, there's plenty of the qi, plenty of yang. But if we don't nourish the baby young, how is the young come from the gallbladder meridians and flow into the stomach meridians? Because our energy system is like a river flowing. So the spring comes, so that's why plenty of snow here. And then that's why in Sweden we just visit that big waterfall. So you need to have plenty of the supply to get the waterfall really strong. So why is that supply? Supply is middle of night. So of course, if in modern society, people against the nature, against the law of the Tao, right? So then doesn't go to sleep. No, Chinese people in the ancient time, they meant to go to bed earlier because they don't have much leisure and the electricity. So when you're getting dark, you just rest. So you're strengthening your young by plenty of sleep. And then you get up, rising, the sun rising, your body rising. So that's one of the reasons. That's what we call a group or the tribal behavior. If there are large, massive people behavior against the Tao, against the nature flow, that's the one of the reason. The other reason is the pandemic always followed the war zone. And now there's also have a big situation happening is about the climate change. Of course, climate change, and then so the people, the body, the rhythms has been disturbed. Because you eat the food, it's not organic, your structure changed. And then also there's so much kind of a stress. So that's why, and then in the each individual people, so already out of the rhythms. And then plus of the air polluted, and water polluted, and stress about the money, stress about the environment, and also environment had Australia have so much fire and so much kind of flood. So that's why people living in this kind of an extreme situation, guess what? Fear. So normally the pandemic, the really happening is the fear starts spreading. And then what fear do? Last few times we already mentioned, the fear will be directly attacked to the kidney and then make the kidney deficiency. When the kidney deficiency, what happened?
Everything gets weak. The immune system will not function correctly.
Exactly, because the kidney is associated, supply your essence of your body. If it's the fear so strong, that's why you can see when the people fear, they're overnight, their face gone white, their energy deplete. But also you can see society, the fear about money, the fear about lost this and fear lost that. So that's why, and then they're living in the kind of a community fear, and also so much war zone, so much refugee, and the people have no house, no food. So that's one of the reasons. This kind of environment create their super imbalance. Okay, not only about that. So plus, plus what? Plus the planet and the sun and the moon and the earth. So guess what? This year, especially all of the 5 planets is start to lay up on the one line.
Oh yes, actually, can you explain that? What happened 2,000 years ago with the sage?
Well, that is already predicted by the ancient, the Taoist. They called the Earth Mother prediction. The Earth Mother prediction, which is the Taoist prediction, that's in the year of 2012, disease going to happen, many dead body, and then the fire and then flood. They already mentioned that.
2020.
20, yeah, 2020, this year.
Yeah.
This year, because this prediction is based on the big environment change, because our human is on the earth is held by the ozone layer, and also have such kind of yin yang balance as a multi kind of life support system. Means the trees and the grass, and because the tree gave our oxygen, we give their food, and so by our waste. So that's why the design for each species actually support with each other. But if our human beings too selfish, thinking about ourselves, selling the forest, Amazon, or selling the digging the oil, for example, like 1,000 years old, Song Dynasty, yes, about 1,000 years ago, there's the Taoist sage who is writing lots about the Earth's geography and the planet, record and plants and whatever. He already mentioned that there's soil. You squeeze that, and then you can burn them. It's like oil. What he described is what we were digging for oil to burn. And then he describes that this sense is the bone marrow of the earth. Do not touch it.
Yeah.
So that's why Josephine Needhams is the sonologist and in Cambridge, Oxford. He wrote a large number of books of China civilization and the technologies. So he referenced many things, but he about all the technologies. For example, he mentioned the nail for a house, for kind of making sense. He said the nails are actually created by China. He referenced so many small technology on the boat, and this all come from China, because his wife is Chinese. So, and then without any name can read, because later I met him. Actually, I was so surprised. He doesn't speak Chinese, but his whole life talking about Chinese technology and the science. But the one thing I feel fascinating, he has the one book that especially talking about the Taoist and the Buddhists, about the alchemy practice. Internal alchemy practice and the external alchemy practice. So, and then that's why from you can see those kind of his description. He already mentioned, said it's very surprising. China have been developed, and then the technology so advanced, far away from the Western before. But why China hasn't make up the glorious kind of a material world? He said, what's the reason China, why not develop? He tried to find the reason for it. But actually, when I read his book, I said, yes, China very backward. Western already had the car, and then, all of the airplane, all of missile, and then, but China, by the time, and then in lots of countryside, and still even not have much electricity. Because when I were in China, when we were in the countryside, we still have, the oil light. You light the almost like a candle. There's no electricity. So now I understand. My God, probably China is correct, because the ancient sage said, do not touch it. Means do not use so-called technology for your own benefit, for your own kind of convenience, for your own leisure. So just leave it. So that's one of the reasons the Taoists have very, very strong kind of principles. You're going anywhere, don't touch it. Because there's the butterfly effect. If you touch something else, so you will affect it miles away. So that's why our human beings so called by attacked by the virus, because we try to use their antibiotics, and so much
Completely destroys your whole gut bacteria.
exactly. So that's why when you're destroying that, so that's why your bacterial community inside has been destroyed. So that's one of the reasons why people have so much kind of we call it irritable bowel symptoms, and so much fungus in infections, have so much strange disease, because it kill the balance. The balance, we meant to be living harmonious with lots of virus, lots of bacteria, because we are the bacterial community. But if you try to kill them, what happened? Like for example, if you got, the fever, we already said, fever. If you get the infection, that means you're out of balance. But of course, if you drink the water and take some tea, or even some of people say, even you just drink water, you don't really have an antibiotic, don't have any drugs. After 7 days, your body will heal yourself. So that's why today I really want to address that. It's a very important issue for everybody here. Our body have our own medicine. We can heal most of the disease if you trust it. And also if you practice well, you keep your balance. When you go anywhere, you could harmonious with a virus, because virus come to you and say, hey, it's like, hey, hello. So stay for a while, and then you have just a couple of sneeze, and then they say, okay, you're nice. I say, you're nice. Okay, you carry that just like a bat. But of course, some other people wake, and then they will get it. So people say, wow, you carry the infection disease. So no, that's the whole sense, like, the Spanish flu, and then black disease, disease, and then pandemic. And now I read so much about the pandemic kind of stories. I find one thing very interesting. They're talking the village died, but some people just not died, and then they carried a dead body, and then they contact all of the infectionness, but they are not died. Why? I remember my family member get liver infections, because sometimes some liver infection, and everybody's just saying, okay, keep distance with that person, don't touch. And I just said, for goodness sake, because that's my family. So I just try to show my love. I said, I don't not worried. I share the sense with you. So of course my brother said, don't touch it. I said, no problem, but I didn't get it. So that's why so many nurses, and then in the war zone, they contact the people's, the wounded soldier, contact the infectionists, or even the hand touch it, and then the people, vomiting to their face. And then they just wash it and carry on to serve for people. They're okay. Why? There's one thing very important. When you serve with people, when your heart open, your vibration is super high. When your vibration is super high, you reach to the divine vibration. When you reach to the divine vibration, to the highest vibration, divine create this world. So that's why that's why we said that the Mother Earth is so powerful, because the Mother Earth can turn every rubbish dumped into it. He's still alive. He still produces everything. The same with us. If you have a big love, you're not worried about yourself. Mother don't worry about themselves. They just serve and help children and help the others. So that's why we always said the earth won't be die, but the human can be die. Why? Because the earth is just there. It's just like when you forget yourself, you just service. You're like divine. You're just like an infinite cosmos vibration, because when you forget yourself, your vibration within the cosmos. That's what the internal alchemist practice about. You practice, you look into your inside, look into your heart. So you see the light, you stay in that light, you gradually come to the very strong peace. And then you're still. And then you emerging with the Tao, because you went into the state. You feel there's nothingness, your body disappeared. When your body disappeared, nobody can harm you. But that's one of the reasons why people get sick. Too much about me, me, me. If you're about me, so you start separate. As soon as you have the separation, and then the yin and yang start affect you. So that's one of the strong message I want to bring now is about be calm and then practice lots of internal alchemy. Practice Qigong. Bring the light up. So and that's the one kind of experiment I did in China. We're just doing the meridian massage with the doctor and my friends. That's one of the doctor friends of mine. She always wants to serve people. She said, okay, I'm a guinea pig. You can experience on me. So, and then we're calling about a few of them. Do the meridian massage, just relax and then let people feel this kind of experience, letting go and then relax. Because what we were doing is we measured people, the heart, and then take the blood and then checking the blood count, see what's happening before and after. Okay, what's happening? So after that, so she was lying there and in the trance state. That's the story she told me. She's a Western doctor. She said, just very relaxed. And then suddenly, because I was eyes closed, suddenly I had a big bulb of the white light in front of me. And then she said, hey, what's that happening? Just by kind of curiosity, she opened the eyes. She realized that's the nurse, the head of nurse, which took out the blood. And then she's very calm and wandering on the hospital and serve for patients, because so much people sick. And then she's working day and night there. She's a very, very big white light. So and then she closed her eyes and relaxed. Suddenly she thought, the big bulb of the purple light. And then she's also curious, opened the eyes to see, what is the purple light? And then she thought there's another doctor who is in charge staff union, which organize, the doctor and the nurse and the reading their 5 virtues and doing the singing and then kind of calligraphy and then tea ceremony. She's kind of very devoted herself and then just make the other doctor and the nurse have a much better life, enjoying working in the hospital. She's super kind. So every time whenever come, she always say, "Oh, have a tea, and then that's the best sense for you." And then she's kind of constantly making service, put herself into service. So and then when this doctor see her light, said, "Oh, because to me the purple light is like sterilized. In the hospital, when patient die, we put, ultrasound. It's like a purple color, and just sterilize their room, the patient's room. And so that's why if people have a purple color, so that means whenever you go, you sterilized. Sterilize the environment and yourself okay. So I find lots of healers naturally have that purple color aura. But if you have a white light, that's also because the white light almost combined and all of that electric magnetic field. No, because we say that there's the
it
blue.
Combines all of them.
All of them. So when they're all of them, that's become white. Otherwise, you will see, like middle wave, short wave, long wave. There's all blue color, and then there's kind of we call the microwave. It's like a gold, yellow. And then so this is, of course, if you learn the frequencies, yes, because the textbook is showing the frequencies are always kind of different colors. So that's why. So like, if you cultivate yourself, giving, service, as a big cultivate, increasing your energy as almost instant. So of course, other things you'll keep practicing and take care of yourself. But people say, "Oh, I used to be very busy, but why I'm tired?" But you got to be careful. When you're busy, is when you're busy to serve the other people for the highest good, or you serve other people for making money for yourself. That's very different. Their intention will decide it, or really to show on your vibration.
That's an important thing you just mentioned there, because a lot of people find it difficult to work out how your psychology can affect you so much. But when you think of it in terms of vibration and frequency like that, it's obvious, right?
Yeah, exactly. You can see why those kind of people volunteer and then doing so much sense, and amazing. They're very happy. Why? They may be very tough, but you see, that's your soul, because you will be able to help. When you help for the highest good, so that's kind of a deep happiness. Because if you look at the consciousness scale, okay, there are love. Above the love is the happiness, and above the happiness is the peace. Above the peace is what? Enlightened. So that's why when you are see, and when you are really to serve without any single for yourself, that's kind of a completely come from the big love. Because that's why we said small love and the big love still have the difference. Small love is that, yes, I'm served for my family. It's the love. It is love. But the big love is the whole humanity. So therefore, all the earth, all other life form, not just about humanity, trees, earth, rocks and mountains and animals, all of that count. They are all life form, even the virus. So, I just said, people say, oh, don't go to China. I said, I'm going. I love virus. You gotta have love them. You love them, they love you. Love back. So that's why people scare them. I don't care. So from that point, when we know the virus actually is our friends, to show has humanity the conscious levels, has our society really sick, has people not respect the nature, not respect the spirituality, not respect about the multi-dimensions. So some of the virus maybe can see, some of the other parts is not seeing. So that's one of the reasons. They are the great messengers. So I have a friend as a scientist, and then she wrote the article, and she's doing complexity theory. She sent the article to me and said, I just really want to see from the what they call it, the mathematics part, and really for talking about the group behavior. So that's one of the reasons why virus jump out, because we are not meant to eat some of the animals. It's not on the design for it. And then we cross the boundary. So that's one of the reasons. So when we not respect the other life form, so that's one of the reasons the virus start to protest. So when they protest us, and then it's kind of a signal we need to be careful.
They're trying to restore balance.
Yeah. So that's why if we would try to fight back, so that's why the other concept I really want to bring in. Chinese medicine never have a concept, so your antibiotics, because we don't talking anti. So like when the people sick have the fever, we say, okay, have ginger and have a good rest, increasing your qi. We are not saying fight with the virus. We're not associated with anti-virus, antibacterial. So those kind of anti-concept. So it's like you fight from your, virus or a bacterial community. You fight here. So that's why, you see, that's the conception in the Western medicine is everything is up. You fight each other. Chinese medicine is harmonious with them. Oh, we'll find a new balance. Oh, we're too much that. Let we rising above this part. Oh, reducing a little bit the heat. This part. Okay, balance up. So that's why virus are happy and bacteria are happy. We're all living in the harmonious together. That's about Chinese medicine, right?
Yeah.
So that's why if we really use the concept of the Chinese medicine, there won't be panic. They shouldn't have a panic, because we are, if we know our body is bacterial and a virus community, so what do you need panic about? It's just because they're not balanced, so that's why they jump up. So as soon as that's why Chinese. I saw WeChat. It was so funny. The people lie on the sofa said, "Oh, I'm so happy now. I can contribute to the society. We just stay and relax, not doing anything for community." It's because the whole human so much doing rather than being. We're not a human being anymore. We become a human doing. So we're not a being. We just need to be, relax, take it easy, breathe gently, and not doing too much. The world will be much better place. But now we say, today we're going doing this. Today we're doing this. Today we're getting this done. We're getting this done. Oh, if I'm not doing anything, I'm not achieving anything. If I'm not fight for a virus, we're not antibiotic. If we don't take antibiotics, so everything's a fight. Why you need to fight? You just been, right? Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Should we relax?
Let's relax.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.